Back when I was a kid in the 70s, everybody I knew pastured their cows, and pretty much everybody pastured their cows in the woods. And it's a little bit more complicated than just turning the cows loose in the woods. So let's take a little bit more in-depth look at silvopasture and everything you ever wanted to know about silvopasture. How big that is. Can't go down there because I'll get soaked, but it's taller than me. Right now they're just like scrawny teenagers, but come fall they'll be in good shape for freezer camp. They'll look really good. This is just what they look like as teenagers, because what happens is they do their bone growth first, and so they get tall and leggy, and then they fill out afterwards. As the summer progresses, I'll open up the gates and they'll just basically have the whole place to themselves. These ruts right here were caused by the skidders when they went through. I went right through there. This was super muddy, and so now I've got almost 3 feet of ruts. It's grown back in, and I tried to fix part of it. You can just about get around down here with the gator, if I ever get it back. Down here. You definitely can't go through there. You can come around that way. But you can just about come through here. I've really done a lot to get that passable. So you can see the cattails there. This is wet all year round down here. This whole section was cut off, and I built the fence here straight up to George's meadow, which you can see up there on the other side of those maple trees. I kind of wanted to fence down along this tote road, and then a few hundred feet down there's another tote road that goes across. I wanted to cross that and come up through, but it just was so much fencing required to do that. And initially when I started, like I said, I think I bought 6 rolls. There was a non-climb horse fence. They were 100-foot rolls, and I bought a few gates. I made a few gates. And then right after I retired from the military, some of the veterans groups helped me out a little bit. I got 4 330-foot rolls of good cattle fence, and 100 steel posts, 4 gates, and I've probably tripled that since then. I mean, you can see the blackberries all coming in. If this was any place besides Maine, I'd really be scared about walking through this. There hasn't been rattlesnakes in Maine for over 100 years, and they were down further south, and there's a little enclave of them left in New Hampshire. Not to say we don't have some big snakes, because some of the water snakes are really nasty. They're big. You have to put a gate there. This is all full of wood chips. That was really muddy too. They had mudded this up. You can see a little bit still here, and they really disturbed it. These rocks are here. What's left of the hole? There was a bunch of ruts, and it took a long time to get this back. It's kind of tough because you can see how steep this hill is. Trying to keep the rain from washing out the soil. I raked it with a York rake a few times and seeded it over. It just took a while. Don't like dark shadows, and they're not real big fans of woods, especially thick woods where they can't see. So they'll come up here. But you can see all the clover. So what I essentially did was I raked and raked and raked this tote road part, and then a little bit up, a little bit more. So the tote road was probably 12 feet, and wherever I could make it wider, I raked it out, got the brush out, and I came through and I put what they call a conservation mix down initially. When they're ditching beside the road, they'll throw that down, and that established real quick with roots. That just mitigates any more soil erosion. And then I had put down some winter ryegrass, and then I came through the next year and hit it again with a pasture mix. And you have to really intensively manage it. Otherwise, what happens is the animals will overgraze parts of it and you'll get erosion. But if you don't graze it enough, it will grow into brush and get ahead of them. So you clear a story is what they call the upper trees, upper tree growth, and it allows sunlight through, and then you get grass down on the bottom. And so the animals will graze the bottom and keep the new growth in check. It's fertilizing the forest, and typically the forest floor isn't super high in nutrients, and you'd think it would be, but it's pretty thin up here in Maine. You can see all the droppings. And we keep having bonfires up here, but it just seems like we're never going to get all this pine sticks and everything picked up, and just keep working on it. This is all moss here, and the junipers are coming back in certain places. This involved a lot of raking, stumping, and reseeding. Obviously up here with the pine trees, whereas the soil is really acidic, so it takes a while for the grass to come back. And so I've hit it with lime, but you want to be careful not to disturb the pH too terribly much, because you've got trees that are already here and they're established on what's here, so you want to be careful about altering it too terribly much. But as you can see, all the pastures have trees integrated with them. This whole area right here was all covered with field pines. So I really limed this pretty heavily in this area. And this field right here it's really sandy and gravel underneath, so that's why there isn't much, good grass. It doesn't matter how much manure I put on it. And I don't want to turn it under. And then there's a whole patch of clover I put in last year. You can see that dark green spot. Done. They'll eat the understory here, and they'll eat some of the fruit off, but that just keeps the apple blight off the stuff up higher. And as this tree I'm looking at right now, I can see it's due for another good pruning. I haven't done it in a couple years, but it's due. You can see how big that trunk is. It's 3 feet across on this old apple tree, and it's the only original apple tree left. The animals will rub on the trunks, and it kind of smooths it out, and that takes care of a lot of the bugs and insects that would be boring into those trees. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.